Hey guys, welcome to Anna Loves Makeup. Today I'm going to be testing out just a few products, nothing too crazy here. I've got a couple of bronzers, I've got an eyeshadow palette and a powder. So I really don't have a lot of makeup to show you guys, but I did want to do a quick first impressions on these products because I've had these in my stash and I've been wanting to use them so badly. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have my base makeup on and I will list all those products down in the description box if you guys are interested. Let's go ahead and start with this powder. It's a Sephora Microsmooth powder in tan. So this is the packaging. I picked this up because I heard this powder looked really good on the skin and it makes your skin look really flawless. So I did want to try it. You guys know that I love my undone powder in medium, and that powder is like my ride or die powder for my face. Now with the undone powder, I don't always use it as a setting powder. Sometimes I go ahead and set my face with something else and then I go ahead and apply the undone powder on top of that. But today I did not set my foundation, so I want to go ahead and use this. I will say that the foundation I used today was the Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation by Urban Decay. Now this is a new shade, but it's not a new foundation to me. But just to let you guys know, that's what I have on my face today because this was in a recent haul that I posted and I did pick a new shade. So that shade is new. I do love the way it looks on my skin. I think it's perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with this powder now. So here is the shade. Now the shade looks fairly light on camera, but to be honest, it's not that light in person. It looks really nice and tan and golden. So really excited to try this on my skin. It looks beautiful in the pan. It has like this, I don't know, it looks like it has like a sheen effect to it. Let's go ahead and try it with the Sonia G Master Face brush. And I'm just going to press that into the product. And then I'm just going to place that all over. Kind of blend everything into my neck. I wanted to get a mirror to kind of look up close. So looking at it up close, I can tell a little bit more that it does have a nice sheen to it. It looks nice so far. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to bronzers. So I am going to use two bronzers. I'm going to use the Ilia Nitelight bronzing powder, and then I'm also going to use a Charlotte Tilbury powder. I am going to try the medium Charlotte Tilbury powder on the right side, and then I'm going to put the Ilia on the left. I'm not really going to go anywhere today, so if it's off, it's not going to be a big deal. But once I go in with the medium, if it looks like it's too light, then I'll go ahead and go in with the number 3. So we're going to get started with the Charlotte Tilbury medium. This is the packaging. Beautiful, beautiful gold packaging. And then when you open it up, it has a mirror. And this is, I'm going to try not to blind you. This is the shade right here. This is the medium. So it's medium 2. All right, so we're gonna go in with this is a Sigma tapered face brush. It's an F25, and we're going in with the medium first. Oh, the medium's really pretty. The medium does show up on my skin. It looks really pretty, nice and bronzy. So basically it's coming off very light. I dipped my brush in there like 3 times and it's not like too highly pigmented where you can't blend it in. So yeah, that's it right there. I think it's really pretty. I do want to go in with the number 3 just because I want to see what kind of color payoff the number 3 gives. Now I know I probably shouldn't do this because I'm going on top of this bronzer, but I feel like if I put some of this on, I'm going to be able to tell right off the bat if it's a little more bronze than this one or not. So I'm going to go ahead and use that same brush. The medium has more of kind of like a golden tan look to it. This one has more of a warmer tone to it. As you can see, there's a little bit more, I don't want to say red or orange, but you know what I mean? It's more of that kind of terracotta undertone, which is really, really pretty, to be honest. So let's go ahead and try the Ilia bronzer. And I showed you guys the cardboard packaging that it comes in. And then, of course, this is the packaging itself. Comes with a mirror, and then this is the shade. So I really do like the shade of this. It has more gold in it. So let's go ahead and use, I'm gonna use this Japanese brush. It's a tapered, fluffy brush. Now this one's super powdery compared to the Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury, when you put your brush in there, you're not getting a lot of kickback with that bronzer, but this one you definitely are. Just tapping off the excess, and now I'm just gonna place that on my skin. This one does have a sheen to it. I don't know if you guys can tell. As opposed to this side, it has a slight sheen, but it looks really beautiful. I really love the shade of this. Super pretty. Now, this is the shade of bronzer that I normally go for. I don't tend to go for bronzers that are really, really warm like this. I do have some in my collection, but I like this type of bronzer where it's more like a natural tan. So I love the way this went on. So, so beautiful. So the last thing that I have that's new that I want to show you and do a first impressions on is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Rose Eyeshadow Palette. I showed you guys the packaging the last time. It's so beautiful. So these are very cool tone shades. So I want to try this on my eyes today. I didn't do my eyebrows yet. I will do that after I apply the shadow. So let's go ahead and try this palette. I am going to go in with the Sonia G Blender Pro. This is actually what I'm going to use to set my primer. And I'm using the shade Haze to set my primer. It's this shade right here. I'm going to place that all over. Oh my gosh, it's raining like crazy outside. This shadow is going on beautifully on that primer. I'm going to go into Pixie with the same brush. It's this shade here. And I'm going to put that in my crease. It's coming off like a light gray, which is really pretty. You know, sometimes when I use like grays on my eyes, they come off kind of like purple. But this one's coming off so pretty on the eye. Love that. So the next shade I'm going to go into is Free Spirit. It's this shade right here. And I'm going to use that same brush. And this time what I'm going to do with that shade is just kind of go right here in the crease and on the outer corner. Now this is a very light shade, so it's not going to deepen up that corner. But it is a kind of like a shimmer shade. Well, not really shimmer. It has a sheen to it. Now I'm going to use the Sonia G Crease Pro. I'm going to go into this shade right here called Soul. Really pretty, like kind of grayish brown shade. I'm just going to deepen up that crease a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of tap it on the outer part of the eyelid. I don't see much fallout with this, thank goodness, because I already did my concealer. Next, I'm going to grab my Sonia G Worker Pro brush. I'm going into this boho shade right here. It's a really pretty, like, kind of brownish pink shade. And I'm going to place that on my eyelid. Yeah, it's like a really pretty kind of pinkish brown shade. And I'm bringing it into that other shade, the Soul shade. I'm going to take my Sonia G Crease Pro again, and I'm going to go into Stargazer which is this shade right here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that just to give the eye some depth. I'm going to take it and bring it into the corner here. And I'm only taking a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy with this darker shade. And then I'm going to take the Morphe E28. It's a clean brush, and I'm just going to blend the edges out so they'll look smooth. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera, and then I'm going to put some lashes on, and I'll be right back and we will talk about the products that I used today. Alright guys, I went ahead and finished off the rest of my makeup. Like I said, I will list those products down below that I used on my face today. So let's go ahead and get into my first impressions of these products. The first thing I want to talk about is the Gen Nude Rose Eyeshadow Palette. I love this palette. I think the shades went on beautifully. They blended really well together. I think the pigmentation's there when it comes to the shadows. I love the finish of the shades. I love the color scheme. And I also love the coolness of the shadows. Every shadow went on effortlessly. I think it just looks so beautiful on the eyes. So I'm really glad that I picked this up, guys. I am going to be trying more of these Gen Nude palettes because I'm super impressed with how this came off on the eye. So really love it. Love the look of it. All right, so for the Sephora powder, initially when I put this on, I really felt like it really didn't do much for my skin. I don't know if it was because it really didn't have a lot of pigmentation like my undone powder. I don't know if I was just trying to compare it to that. But now that I've had it on, and I've had it on probably for about an hour because it's been an hour since I started applying everything, I love the finish of it. I love the way it looks. It makes my skin look so super smooth. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it just kind of melted into the skin and became like my skin. I'm not sure if that's what happened, but that's what it looks like. It looks like my skin. It looks super smooth, super flawless. I just love the way it set my makeup. So this is definitely a win for me. For the bronzers, okay, so my favorite bronzer out of the two was the Ilia bronzer. I love the shade of the Ilia bronzer. I think this is like the perfect bronzing shade for me. I love that it's like super golden and it just looks very like natural tan to me. So love this bronzer. It is a bit powdery, but that's really not a big deal for me because of the way the bronzer came off on the skin. It was easily blendable. It wasn't splotchy. And like I said, the color is just perfect for me. So love this. And then for the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, I didn't really care for number 3. And I think that's because it's so super warm. I just didn't like the undertones of it. It was pretty on the skin. If you guys like a warmer bronzer, I would definitely go with number 3 if you're my skin tone. So yeah, I just didn't like the number 3 for me, but I did love the number 2. So I am going to keep the number 2. I think this is like the perfect shade for me. It is a little bit lighter than the Ilia bronzer, but the great thing about this is that I can actually build it up. I love that it's a buildable bronzer. That is kind of what is drawing me to this bronzer, is I can go ham with my brush and then go onto my skin and it just blends in seamlessly and it doesn't have any harsh pigmentation to it. So yeah, I really love this shade in the number 2 of the Charlotte Tilbury, and yeah, the number 3 was a little bit too warm for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very mini first impressions video. It's still fun doing these videos even though I didn't have a lot of products, because I really enjoy like applying this and showing you guys how it goes on. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did filming it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys on the next one.